How are you this morning? And how is the mix cloud this morning? I haven't even managed to get the mix cloud up yet on my phone to say hello to everybody, but good morning to everybody. Anyway, enjoying the music as usual. I loving the selection you've been playing. Actually, I've been dancing away.
Oh, that's good. That's what it's all about, changing up the vibes every morning.
So, tell us what's been going on in the news. I heard you've been reading out a bit of news on behalf of me. Tell us about the train strike again. I missed some of that. When is the
Well,
train strike happening? Sorry for the repeats, everybody. I'm catching
yeah,
up.
there is a train strike happening. We're threatening, ASLIV are threatening to go on strike, or they are planned a strike, I should say, from the 30th of January to the 5th of February. And obviously, it's going to affect different operators.
Yeah.
Drivers also refusing to work overtime from Monday, the 29th of January to the 6th of February, which means that if trains are left or somebody doesn't turn up, they'll just put the train away and there'll be major delays.
Well, that's news for everybody out there. So be careful if you are traveling around those times or have to use the train service.
Hmm.
Remember the strikes. Check the websites all the time because you know these strikes get called off last minute and you make different plans. I want working from.
It most probably called off.
Well, let's hope so.
The drivers, I think, were on strike, and their strike was called off. So ASLIF are trying it now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, let's hope so, because it's just a massive nightmare. They're always striking over pay. We all want pay. Like I said, let's just do a massive exodus. Everybody strikes. Everybody gets a pay rise and everything and stop suffering from these bills. Now, talking about bills, they're saying actually that there's going to be a cold snap after Storm. Let's have a look. Storm Jocelyn is rolling in straight after Storm Isla, and maps are showing how 80 miles an hour winds are going to set to batter the UK, parts of the UK, just like it did over the weekend with Storm Isla. The rain, the wind. My furniture I've got stored outside and it moved. I just kept hearing it move during the rain and the rain battering the windows. It's been relentless, actually. And in the
Yeah,
West
it is.
Midlands, it does certainly rain. It definitely does. I hate the rain as well, so I don't even know why I moved up here. But anyway, be careful for Storm Jocelyn coming in this week. And with Storm Jocelyn and with these 80 miles an hour winds and rains comes the cold. It's cold at the moment. I don't care. And experts are saying, do you keep your heating on all day or should you just put it on as and when needed, right? We've seen loads of articles about whether, in fact, we should do this. And I've heard a lot of stories about we should just keep it on all day on a low temperature so the house just stays warm all day. That's what I've been told and taught. Whereas in fact, it actually uses more energy, and is not, well, I should say, it's not energy efficient, and you end up spending more money because you lose heat throughout your house during the day also. They're saying that you should switch it on as and when needed to boost and warm your house. But I don't know. It's like they say that about car engines. You should leave it running because every time you switch it on and off, you're using petrol to
It
ignite
does. Very true.
the engine. So I was assuming the same with gas, right? Every time it go, the heat, you hear the heat and come on in the boiler. That's igniting something. It's using some energy. So I thought if energy's flatlined, if it's on an even scale, then it only heats when your house needs to be warmed up at a certain temperature, then I'm sure that's more effective. But who am I? I'm no gas engineer. I'm no expert. But just keeping on with gas before I kind of look at some of the messages in the mix cloud, I've just spoken about trying to keep energy efficient, whether you should leave it on or just kind of boost it during the day. The British gas boss, Chris O'Shea, got paid 4.5 million. That's his pay.
Wow, it's a lot of money.
And he's come out and said, I can't justify my pay. Well, I'm going to write to Chris and say, if you can't justify it, I'm happy to take some of that off your hands and make you feel better about yourself. It's no problem whatsoever. Just pass it over. I'm
Mm.
happy to help you out and take that burden of guilt off your shoulder. I'll smile with it. I don't mind. And I'm sure
Mm.
some of our Mixcloud family wouldn't mind some of that 4.5 million that you feel so bad about.
Oh
And what he
yeah.
says is that it's set by the committee. He doesn't set his pay. It's set by the committee. The committee is saying it's because we want to attract the best leaders and we want to make sure it's run by the best leaders. So we have to pay this kind of pay. And something like 3.2 billion were their profits last year. So 3.2 billion profits, a 4.5 million pay, and we pay more gas.
Wow.
I'll
We
just
should.
leave
They
everyone
should.
with that thought.
They should. They should just take some of that money and just take it off our gas. If it's too much, he can't justify it. We can justify having cheaper gas.
Well, this is what I don't understand. They keep saying, because of the war in the Ukraine, it's pushing the gas prices up, but you're making more money. You're still making
Yeah,
money, and plus more money. That's called profit. So why are you earning profits and we're suffering? And
that's the
and
way the
they could
leadership works, isn't it?
But you could just ease the burden of the world a little bit, just share the love. Where's the love? Like Sean Love Coombs, he's saying he wants to bring out love now. Where's that love? If he wanted love, give us some of his cash.
you
Give us some of his cash.
you got it in for Sean, haven't you?
Ah, mate, I've been reading up about Sean,
Oh
Puff Daddy,
dear.
P. Diddy, Love Jones, whatever his name is, whatever his name is.
Know that you'll be talking about that later.
Yes, yes. But I just want to give a shout out to Susan Simpson. Good morning to you. Also, my lovely, my queen. And she says they need to stop disrupting people's lives. Kiss my teeth. They get paid more than enough. They certainly
Yeah, they
do.
do.
And Adelaide just says, yes, the black. Don't know what that means. Don't know what that means.
Oh,
But yes, whatever,
that's the
whatever.
wind, Lillian. You know
Oh,
they name the different hurricanes or tornadoes. I think she's talking about the hurricane or tornado Lillian. That's what I think.
clarify for us, Adelaide. And Susan Simpson said, an engineer told me whether you have it high or low, it has to spark up the boiler. Yay. And it costs the same. So, yeah, ignore that advice I just said then. That was rubbish.
I think
Anyway,
the best way to deal with it is just work out yourself. Am I paying more money when I turn it on and off, or if I leave it on all day, do I pay more money? And that's the best way to work it out, I think.
and for those that have got a functional smart meter, because I've got a smart meter, but it's not functional in terms of what I want it to do. So for those of that have got a functional smart meter, use your smart meter. Run your heating all day on a level temperature, see how much it costs, and then just play around with it and boost it up during certain times of the day and see the costs then at the same times as well, especially the peak times. And that's the only way that you can really determine how much energy you're using or how much you're paying for your gas. Or just don't switch it on at all. Get one of those big, I've invested in one of those, those big wrap over warm tops, the ones that come to your ankles.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Feel
they're
no
good. I got
feel
one of
nothing.
them.
But Adelaide says the black name girls are coming. Lillian soon come. Ah, Lillian soon come. Sorry for those harmed. I declare in the name of Jesus we shall not be harmed, but the wind will clear all obstacles in our way. Thank you for that sermon, Adelaide. We need that. Amen. Praise the Lord and hallelujah. Right, Susan Simpson says, yes, send me some of that 4.5 mil that my way. Holidays to book, spas, massages, the whole shebang. The whole of it.
All of
And
it, yeah.
Jack's happy. Hello, my darling. And Adelaide says Storm Aisha, Storm Jocelyn, and Storm Lillian sound like black girls' names to me. That's what she's saying. I get you. They do, don't they? Jocelyn Brown, Lillian from what's that group called? Oh God, Lillian, Babs, Nubian Queens.
Oh, the Nubian Queens. The Nubian Queens. All right.
She would have
Okay.
killed me if I forgot them. It just, you know what? Play a track so I can just remember my dear self. Nearly messed
I
up there,
think
nearly.
I think our track needs to be played. Are you single tonight?
Just tonight, or like
I
in
think she's
all
just talking about she sees a guy across the floor and she likes him. Is he single? Like, you gotta ask the
tonight.
question sometimes.
Just tonight.
Are you single tonight? Yeah, yeah. I'm reading into that one. Yeah.
Yeah, read into that one. Now I'm just watching the Mixcloud, and Adelaide is preaching today. She's definitely preaching on the Mixcloud. So just quickly read this out because she's spent the time in writing this. Deserves a shout out. So she says they will. I think she's responding to Susan Simpson. However, the Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous, and I claim that. Amen. Where am I? Some people need to move because them wicked for real. And then she says, even deeper the wind comes from the sea of some of our ancestors' blood. Is the sea and the earth too early? Them a come for liberation in the wicked nations. There's a lot going on there, Adelaide. But I think she's saying, cast out those bad breed demons that you have, and
Yeah.
spread the wealth, because the land's going to change, and everybody, the bad people are going to come for the bad people, and it's going to leave the good people. If you're one of those bad people, you're not going to be here. I think that's up in a nutshell. But anyway, talking about spreading the wealth, we talked about the British gas boss with his 4.5 unjustifiable pay. We've got an heiress, okay, an Austrian heiress, and she's seeking for 50 strangers to give away her 27 million inheritance.
Wow.
Yep, yep. Marlene Engelhorn is her name, and she's looking for people to give it away from her grandmother, Trull Engelhorn. I can't even pronounce the surname. After her death in 2022, and she's long been an advocate for wealth distribution. Big
Only
up. I'm gonna.
50 people. I think she needs to give it away to more than that.
Yeah, but at least they get a tidy sum to be able to do stuff, go to college,
How much?
buy a
How much?
house to
How
start.
much million? 27.
27 million she's looking
Yeah,
to give
so
away
that's
to
a
50
500,000
people.
each.
Yeah. And she's part of a group of wealthy people in German speaking countries who are campaigning for higher taxes on the wealthy. And she's also set to inherit a fortune due to the chemical company BASF, which was founded
That's,
by
yeah.
one of our descendants. But how is she going about this exactly? Well, she sent out 10,000 invitations to Austrian citizens. I don't think that you can start applying now.
Oh
Don't be
man,
don't be going on her
was,
social
I think
media.
we're all looking at this thinking, I want to be one in for that,
It would be nice, but unfortunately, no. You've got to be an Austrian citizen over the age of 16, and they would be participated to select in the Good Council for Redistribution. Yeah. The participants will each receive 1,300 for the weekend they attend to cover.
Wow,
Yeah, as well. But she's
that's
publicly
worth it, isn't it?
yeah, she's publicly speaking out about wealth distribution, and she wants to share wealth, and if all the rich people in the world shared their wealth, we'd be in a much better position. And if we could stop greed, just a fraction of greed as well, you
A
know.
lot of it's about power as well, isn't it? It's about power, having that power.
Yeah, but
Money is
what is it?
power, having so much wealth is power.
It is. It is, and what can I say? Some people breathe and live for power. It's what turns them on. And those
Yeah,
are the narcissists of the world that tend to run companies and run power countries like America. I mean, look at Trump, for example. That brings me on to that article. He won in Ohio by a leading margin, and there's been a candidate in New Hampshire, or not necessarily in New Hampshire, but a candidate that was up against him for Trump.
yeah,
Ron DeSantis, I think his name is. I'll get his name in a second. Who
yeah.
is now giving up in the title race against Boris? Yeah, Ron DeSantis. He's dropped out.
Against Boris.
Sorry, because he looks like Boris, doesn't he? Don't you
He
think
does look
Trump
like
and
Boris,
Boris are
yeah.
that kind of blonde, wispy, bad breed hair thing going on? They look the same. So sorry, Trump. So Ron DeSantis doesn't want to go against Trump and has dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. So Trump is going for it. He's going up to New Hampshire shortly to go and hound the local people there. Let's have a look. They're saying with only a few days left until his victory in New Hampshire, they're speaking in future tense, like this is what he's going to do. And you know what? If you listen to mindfulness and these kind of meditation things, they say if you talk about somewhere you want to be or someplace you want to get to, you have to speak like you're there already, because your mind will set you in motion to get there. So I believe that he uses words like this in order to change the mindset of people listening, thinking he's going to get there, so I just may as well vote for him anyway. There's that kind of psychology. And also for himself, it's very, very smart using future tense. Really, it is.
So I'm going to be in Jamaica tomorrow morning. I'm going to be in Jamaica tomorrow morning.
I'm going to have my breakfast in a minute. Someone's going to bring me my breakfast in a minute. Someone will. And good morning, Mary Kidd. Good morning to you. And DJ Carl Bassett. Good morning, sir. Always nice to
What's
see you in
happening,
the chat
Mr.
room.
Bassett?
You're saying it like you expected him to respond.
No,
I
I'm
was
just
sitting
saying
there
what's happening.
thinking
Like,
he was
good
going to.
morning. Good morning. Like, what's happening, Mr. Bassett? Wagwan.
I nearly sat there thinking, he was going to say hi, waiting for a response there. Good morning, DJ Juicy. Good morning to the
Morning,
lovely
Juicy.
DJ. Do you know what? I got to give a big up to DJ Juicy. I remember when Juicy first started DJing, and she was this shy thing, didn't want to speak on the mic. If you see this young lady now, honestly, she's so sassy, so absolutely beautiful, and plays absolutely amazing music. And she hit her 1K following on Mixcloud. So I just want to give a big up, shout
Big up,
out
big up, big
to
up.
GY Radio's DJ Juicy. You deserve it, young lady. She's absolutely exceptional. Love her, love her. Support my fellow sister.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly. Anyway, coming back to some news now. Now, I've been talking about it for the last week or two with the Postmasters scandal, and talking about Windrush deserves the same platform for what's going on in terms of having fast cash, getting exonerated, having people being able to come back from the countries they've been sent to and not having their passports. And so there's been people speaking out, and there's been an article on the BBC saying that Windrush victims deserve a compensation scheme similar to those affected by the post office scandal. And this is what a leading barrister has come out and said. Now, the Home Office appointed Martin Ford, KC, in 2018 to oversee the Windrush compensation scheme, but he has since become one of its fiercest critics. And he told the BBC News that the process for the Windrush victims to claim compensation is document heavy and moves at such a slow pace. It's unbelievable. And it's not moving at the speed that this post office compensation is moving at. Now, the Home Office says it has paid more than 75 million, so victims, and it is improving the scheme so people can receive as much compensation as quickly as possible. What do you mean? It's like race relations and, the black people becoming the first to do things. It's improving. We're slowly getting there. Why is it that when it comes to black people, things have to move at such a snail's pace? It's not given the relevance that it needs. It's just like, well, we'll put this on the list. We'll let you know it's highlighted. But, we're going to move at our pace. We're going to take our time. Don't worry. It's there.
We're
But,
not important. We're not
we're not,
important.
we're not important. We're not important.
That's what it is.
Many people were deported. Other people faced difficulties at work. People relied on families. If we look at the statistics at how many people probably died during this Windrush process and who committed suicide, it's a lot higher than the Postmaster scandal. And that's not being looked into, and that's not being highlighted. And that's my bugbear. No disrespect to the sub-postmasters, because they've been badly affected. They've lost homes, loved ones, everything. Everybody deserves compensation where there's been misinjustice done. There shouldn't be some kind of levels according to race, status, wealth, or whatever the case may be. Equal level. That's all I campaign for. That's it. That's it from HPQ.
Keep campaigning, and fight the cause. That's what I say.
I'm saying.
Working hard there in the background, isn't it?
Certainly. Just trying to. There was a news image that I had, and I didn't have the story behind it, and I was furiously searching for it, but maybe I'll read it out next week. But I've got enough to talk about anyway. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is addictions, right? I am addicted to Shein and Temu. Those two sites I've got an addiction to. Now, I ordered some stuff at Christmas. I must have spent over £100 or so. And some of them came. I had to send a lot back. And I've just got this ever-going flow of credit because I just haven't taken the money back. I've just recredited to my balance. So I keep having stuff coming. And I feel like it's Christmas every week. Like, oh, what have I ordered now? But, this Doll's House stuff, I've just got loads of bits. I'm just obsessed. I really am a little bit obsessed. So I've banned myself now from those sites. I'm going to delete the apps now in hope it's...
You're so engrossed in it. You even started making a sound system.
Yeah.
A miniature sound system.
I am. I am.
Tell us what made you want to build a sound system. I mean,
Well, as you know, I've been doing the kind of crafting the dolls' houses, but they come as kits and you really have to do some intricate work. But I really wanted to build something of my own from
hmm
scratch. So I've bought this doll's house, like it's like a, I don't know, 2 foot one or something like that. And I decided I didn't want to build the outer casing because it was just too much. And so I
hmm
got one and I'm going to sand it down and start again. But I wanted it to be kind of like 60s, 70s Windrushy type themed
okay,
house with the bad wallpaper and the doilies and all the stuff that we had in our houses
the
growing up,
carpet,
the carpets and everything. So I've been,
paraffin,
yeah,
paraffin heater.
Calagas heaters and stuff like that. So some stuff I can get, other stuff I have to make from scratch. And then I thought about the outside of it because it's quite a grand entrance, and I thought, well, let's put something at the side. And so I thought, let me try a sound system. I'm always looking at YouTube for different ideas. So I looked and I saw some images, and I started building the decks, the layers, but I
Mm.
still have to do a lot of work to that.
I've got some ideas for you.
Yeah,
Why
people have
don't
been putting
you know,
ideas,
we we used to have that.
selector.
Yeah, we used to have the parties and everything that goes on. Why don't you just make a little rave, like with all the selectors and everybody, the miniature putting on the deck and all that. Don't forget, you got to make the wide brim hats and all that.
Oh yeah, well, the deck was actually, I was quite proud of that because
It looks actually good. It really looked
it's a
good.
movable arm, and I put a little needle at the top. I've just got to get it, put some gloss on
Working.
it. I got some gloss on it, and the tape decks as well. You can open the tape deck
Oh
drawers,
yeah, you
so I've
made
done
tape
that.
decks, yeah, and you made a
Yeah,
preamp as well, little preamp.
yeah,
It looked like a proper little sound system. Actually,
yeah. I've got
it's
to build the
really
casing to have the
impressive.
stacking.
Mm.
So yes, anyway, so talking about stuff that I've been buying. Now we all kind of buy clothes all the time as well from some of these sites, and they look good in the description, right? You think
Mm.
if that's what I order, that's what I'm getting. And I've had some fails,
hmm
right? I remember I ordered some ice picks, and they come and they were like this size,
Yeah.
totally unusable. But the nicest thing,
Maybe they thought you was gonna put it in your miniature house.
maybe they did. And I mean, I'm not sure what was going on with this one. Someone ordered like a spoon, and that was the size that they got. It's completely different to what what was actually ordered. I don't know where they were going with that. But even worse, if you want to order some boxer shorts, you suspect that they would fit round by the waist, right? But not up this high. I mean, I think he's drawn that up because he's really drawn that up to the crotch there. But
It looks like something a woman would wear on the beach or something. That is funny.
it does, isn't it? And if you want to get a mask for an occasion and you want to look like Batman, I don't think this is the one. I don't think that's the
Oh
Batman
dear.
hat that you sort out. And of course, we have the dresses. I've had some dresses come, and I think, what the hell is this? I don't know what this doesn't look like the picture, and this doesn't certainly look like the picture, does it?
Mm-mm.
None of the ruffles are there or anything. It's not right. It's just not. It's just not right. Sorry for those on radio that can't see the images, but we are live on Mixcloud. And of course, I wish I bought up a pair of sunglasses that I ordered. How they look on my face? They're bigger than my head, but yeah, that doesn't look like the picture, does it? At
Oh
all.
dear.
And lastly, sometimes they, as they say on the tin, you do exactly what they say. Well, when you ask for an engraving and you say, no thanks, I don't want it engraved, that's exactly what they will put on the engraving.
Oh God.
Uh,
Oh,
you know?
that is funny.
So, just be careful when you're ordering through these sites. It is translated literally into, Asia and,
There's a couple of comments on the Mixcloud there.
let's have a look. Thank you, Juicy, and thank you, Adelaide. They're saying they're impressed with the miniatures. Adelaide says, Team U and them sites are dangerous. Yes, jokes, we got to be careful. When the clothes come, they look like they hang upon nail. That's what Susan Simpson says. Miss Lady says, all now I'm waiting for my order before Xmas. Scan stress, good morning, my darling. And the rest are laughing. To be quite honest with you, I don't have any problems with my orders. So long as I order a good 10 days before I want them, I get them. I very rarely have problems with my orders. They must know me. In fact,
Mm.
I'm like a premium gold 3-star member on Shein and Temu. You know,
Hmm.
I'm one of the top members, top tier. You know, so I get free shipping all the time
Well, did they tell you
and
that? Yeah.
vouchers. Yeah,
So you're one
yeah.
of the top members. Oh,
You know, you
lovely.
get a badge to say,
Oh, do you?
yeah. So
That
yeah, I
means
want to.
you get the better goods then when they send them. Say, right, we better send this because she'll send it back.
You know what I mean? And some stuff that I meant to send back, they don't worry about it. It'll be all right. My returns, there's never any questions. Yep, no problem. We've returned
That's
it.
good.
So
Mm.
I'm there. I'm up there in line with the kings up there.
The queen of Temu and Sheen.
Susan Simpson says HPQ top member. Yeah, that's the product of working from home. You've got far too much time on your hands when you're taking a break. I'll just go on this site and see. And then they're always forever flashing up everywhere. Have you not noticed TV just dominates everywhere? And
Yeah.
there's always something you want. And oh, that's a good price. I nearly bought a 5-volt soldering iron, because I thought, oh, that's cheap for like £3.11. I'm thinking 5 volts, not really going to heat a match. So, no. Yep, sometimes you just got to do what you want to, as the tune
Yeah.
suggests. I see the chat room is filling up with chat. And good morning. Susan Simpson says the Chinese looking to take over the world. Yes, they are. I mean, it's a well-known fact that Chinese are making most of our surveillance systems.
Hmm.
And, look at all the government contracts that they have won. They've got access to so much. When they turn around and says, no, we can't get in, there's no backdoor entry, we can't download any data, they are watching just as much as the government's watching. We're so full, always exporting our work and goods. Why not, teach our children to become engineers and technologists and have universities like MIT, top technological college in the States, and nurture our own,
Yeah.
to look after the interests of the UK. But no, we want to give it over to China. Let's see what happens. Well, talking about technology, and this will be interesting to lots of people. There's been 5 arrests after the Met Police uses live facial recognition.
Hmm.
So it deployed the technology in Croydon on the 19th of January as part of its work to
Hmm.
reduce serious crime. Basically, the technology scans faces of people passing through an area
Okay.
against a watch list wanted by police, and it sets off an alert when a match is actually made. So it led to the arrest of a woman failing to appear at court for burglary, a man failing to comply with his conditions as a registered sex offender, another man wanted for police by robbery, a 36-year-old wanted for court offences in relation to animal cruelty, and another woman for failing to appear at court for drink drive related offences. So really it's just a matter of time before this technology is just rolled out. Along with the cameras we have for cars, we're going to have cameras just taking pictures of us,
You know.
and if we're wanted for anything, that's it.
Do you
They're
know
going to
what?
use that for absolutely anything. Go on, Sharky, sorry.
I was gonna say. You know what? People is gonna start walking around with balaclavas. Those crooks will be like, I don't want my face recognised. That's what will
I
happen.
I understand why they're wearing hoodies and everything now, because that's what they're using, and they're not telling us where they're using it or where it's set up. And
Yeah.
I suspect most of the rich neighborhoods will have facial recognition. So if anyone
Hmm.
drives up, car recognition templates, all that kind of thing. I like technology, all for it, but sometimes it's going a bit too far in the name
Yeah.
of justice and safety. That's what they're using it under the guise of. But it's people's civil liberties as well.
Yeah.
So the police are just getting lazy, basically. Let's not just bother go out on the streets. Let's just use facial recognition, arrest them. Job's done. We'll sit back in the police station, commit crimes like what they did to that young black man yesterday, um, and get away with it.
Hmm.
I still haven't forgotten about that story. I'm not going to
Uh,
bring it up again today.
no, don't. No, that's a
It,
horrible story. That
it
was.
was a horrible story. It really was.
You
And,
know.
I'm really surprised it hasn't made mainstream news. So for those that have got the story, please share amongst your friends and family. We need this story to get out there and gain some traction.
Mm,
It's unfair violence, unnecessary violence.
yeah.
But yes, live facial scanning. What do you think about that, Sharky?
Well, it's the way technology is going. It's really funny that you should say that because sometimes you see a lot of these movies and they have all this technology with the facial scanning and the future and what it's going to be like. And exactly what you see in the movies, it's almost like they're like put the movies out there to get people mindset into, this is what's going to be happening in the future. And there's nothing that we can really do about it. It's just a controlled society.
That's a nanny state,
Nanny
as they
state, yeah.
turn around and say we're going to be surveillanced all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, already we're going to be a cashless society within the next 10 years, so
Mm.
everything will be traceable. So those of you that keep saying I want cash,
Like me.
and I've noticed everyone's wary of money going into their bank accounts now. I'm waiting
Yeah,
to. Have you noticed that people? I'll pay you by bank transfer. No, no, no,
no,
cash man. Tax man's
cash.
looking at my bank accounts and seeing how much money I've got coming in. So, no, no, no. So it's I don't know how to pay people anymore. I don't walk with cash. So
Yeah, well, that's what they don't want people walking with cash now. So, eventually, just like checkbooks, remember it was checkbooks before and a little bit fades out. And some people
checkbook and cards.
refuse.
Remember checkbook and
Yeah,
cards.
some people still use checkbook now. Very few, very, very few, the older generation. But that obviously will be phased out completely, checkbook and card.
Do you know, I was thinking, what was the terminology used for checkbook and card fraud? It was called bun and cheese. That was it. You're doing a bun and cheese. It just came to me. Do you remember that? Bun and
Yeah,
cheese.
bun and
I used
cheese.
to work in a menswear shop and some girl I knew her really, really well. And she had the audacity to come in and do a bun and cheese on me. And I'm standing in the shop and this name was not hers, like be like, Sheila Gustav, and she didn't look like a Sheila Gustav. She was dark black. She was a really big girl as well. She didn't look like Sheila Gustav. So, I took the check. I just took it. I bowed my head and then afterwards I said to her, never come into this shop again. Never, 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 never come into this shop again. And them days you had to do transact, right? You had to just phone up the company. The check's good, yeah, put it through. And that's because the people didn't know it was stolen yet. But
Yeah. But they can't get away with it this day and age now. It's all changed now.
it's all change.
Okay, HPQ. Over to you.
Dancing away this morning.
I could see. I could
I'm
see. I could see.
telling you, maybe it's the alcohol-free month. I'm having a dry January. Honestly, where's my band? I've lost it. Oh my God. Maybe that's a signal that it ends now instead of at the end of January. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I've got to go and find it. But maybe it's that, and I've got a lot more energy in the mornings. I'm dancing away to all the music. And good morning there to Paula Paris. And I'm looking forward to the Spa Weekender this weekend. I'm doing the London coach. I hope everyone's looking forward to coming on the London coach. It's going to be a laugh a minute. Be prepared to have a little bit, is it incy wincy bit of alcohol, some games as well. So come prepared, people, to come to the spa in a very relaxed state. So looking forward to that this weekend. Now, Sharky, you're interested in the natural world, right? You love the natural world. You love
I do.
watching about lions and things. My pet passion is ants.
I thought you
I
were
love
going to
it.
say cats.
No, I love everything about ants. I really am into ants. I remember watching a film about African army ants and the work that they do.
And the
But
way that they work, yeah.
it's
They're hard,
amazing.
very hard workers, ants are. And the way that they operate their colony is extremely... And bees as well, But go for
Yeah.
it. Let's talk about the ants.
Yeah, and they create something called, I think it's called a bivouacs or something like that, where it's a hive where they're all entwined. Not a hive,
Yeah.
a colony where it's all entwined. They don't build anything around them. They build themselves around the colony.
Which, the bees or the ants?
The ants, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
But some fun facts, not some fun facts, some facts about ants. Did you know there are approximately 1.5 million ants for every person in the whole of the earth?
I knew there was a lot. I didn't know it was that much.
1.5 million ants for every single human being in the world. Now, another fact is that ants have superhuman strength. They can carry objects up to 50 times their own weight. We've often seen the ants, they're walking around with this piece of crab leg on their back or some mates helping them. Now, their muscles in their jaw are thicker than most large animals, even humans, and this enables them to carry more objects. Now, if we put that into human context, if we had the same muscle strength in our jaws as ants, would be able to heave something like a Hyundai car above our head. That's the power that ants have. Now, also, they say in certain ant species, the soldier ants have modified heads shaped to match the nest entrance, so they can block access to the nest as well. So their head functions as a cork. They can form a symbiotic relationship with plants. Now, a symbiotic relationship means that they live for one another. It's like a relationship where one does something for another. They live in harmony, basically. So there's certain plants that have natural occurring hollows which allow ants to shelter and feed, and in protection of that, the ants then ward away any harmful bugs or bacteria from the plants, and that's what it means by symbiotic. They help each other. I rub your back, you rub mine. That's what it means in total simple terms. And also, what was the last fun fact? They enslave other ants as well. They take other
Yeah,
ants
they do. Yeah.
and make them do other work. Slavery days. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So I hope they use the termites.
I tell
Anyway.
you, the good film, was it the film called Ants? I watched that. With the colony and everything, and it was really interesting the way that they turned it in. They were talking, and that cartoon film or animated film, it was
Yeah.
brilliant film. That film, Ants. If you've not seen it,
It was very similar to how ants worked,
how they work,
but in
yeah,
a cartoon format.
yeah.
Woody Harrelson was in that. It was not Woody
Mm.
Harrelson. Woody. What was his name?
Woodpecker.
Do you remember Woody Woodpecker? Oh my God!
Yeah.
Now we're going back. Can't believe I just done that on radio. But anyway, the last fact about ants is that they lived alongside dinosaurs. So they evolved some 130 million years ago during the early Cretaceous period. So ants, go way back. They've lived longer than humans. I'm telling you, we should respect them. Give
Yeah,
them
definitely.
respect. Do not stamp on them.
Stamp on them. Do you know sometimes you stamp on these things and they don't even die? Like you stamp
Because they
on them
get
and
in between the little crevices and they get away. They run fast too. They're fast, those ants. The only thing I hate about ants is when they swarm. Because if you got weave, man, and you got one of them wigs, enough of them's in there. They get in there and they can't get out, can they?
weave
They
nest.
Don't wear curly hair, weave, or have your hair out natural when ants are swarming, because you're going to come back and cry.
Most of us guys won't know about that.
43. Gosh, when you're having fun, it goes. But very quickly, I meant to bring this news yesterday and I didn't get time to do it. And we did have some sad news yesterday, as I reported, with the young French chap that got assaulted by the police officer with baton. There's another sad story that was in the news last week, and this is by no means anything new. It happens all the time in regards to elderly people in care homes and them being assaulted by care workers. And this one made the news because a family hid a secret camera. They noticed the deterioration of their grandmother, that she had bruises and that she was becoming very withdrawn. So they hid some secret cameras in there. And what they witnessed was absolutely incredible. And they witnessed the humiliation. They're calling their grandmother names, them beating her, dragging her, not feeding her or changing her. And they obviously took it to the care home managers, who then sacked these three people that were involved, and they moved their mother out of the care home. I was talking about the care home abuse there, these three care workers that was abusing this young lady. And I was saying that I wouldn't put my parents in a care home. And I know it's difficult for some people. It's easier said than done. Our parents, especially if they're going through dementia or Alzheimer's, things like that, it can become very difficult. What is the old saying? Is it once an adult, twice a child? Something like that. They become very childlike because the communication becomes very difficult and they end up lashing out. But quite prepared to take on that. My poor mother, she's passed away now, but I still have my father here, thank God. But I don't think I could ever have the heart to put them in a care home. Plus, the fees are phenomenal. For what you're
Yeah, they
paying,
are.
for the service that you're getting, for the looking after, I'd rather give up work and sell a portion of my house in order to look after him. I would
Mm.
not subject him to a care home. And that's just my point on that one. Now, some other sad news to bring. Martin Luther King's youngest son,
Yeah, he's passed
Dexter,
away.
has passed away at the age of
62, isn't
62.
it?
He had prostate cancer and been battling cancer for a little while, so he was very young. And sad news to say. So rest in peace, Dexter. A lot of
Mm.
people thought that he'll be following his father's footsteps. I think for anybody who child that has a parent who becomes an idol or a legend, it's really, really hard to live up to that. You know, there's massive, massive expectations and big footsteps to step in. But he did get involved in civil rights movements and was active in a lot of, advocacies for black people. So he did his job, and rest in peace, Dexter. You know, it's
They say
sad.
the good die young.
They do, don't they?
Hmm.
So you're bad, are you, Sharky?
Mm.
Are you bad? Are you bad? Is that what you're saying? You're bad.
Like Michael Jackson, yeah. I'm bad.
Who's bad? And hey, oh, actually, some other news I actually wanted to bring and talk about. This is from yesterday. I think this might be my last bit of news, so I'm going to talk about it here. But what do you do about neighbours' disputes? You know, you could be arguing about
Car
rubbish in your
parking spaces.
garden, car parking spaces. I remember there was this house that I was going to view in Wolverhampton, and you know, we noticed on the outside that the house was really close together to the next house, almost touching.
Mm.
And asked the question, it was revealed that they were locked in a battle because he had touched her house and he has to knock down part of his wall, and it hasn't happened yet. And I thought, you're going to take on that? Bad neighbours? No, you're
Yeah.
not. Get out very, 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 very quickly. But what do you do if you have a dispute when your neighbour installs something like a 26-foot high hedge around their property which blocks out absolutely everything? Now I've got a picture, and I think they're standing against the wall. Now a couple took this their neighbours to the High Court, and it's wealthy neighbours, right? Let's make no bones. They're on acres of land,
Mm.
and when the couple first came in, the controversial couple, they tried to install a helipad for the helicopters to come in, and they didn't get the right planning application, so they had to have that ripped up. And they've since submitted about 50 planning applications for different things they want to do on their land. And the neighbourhood has been locked into some kind of fierce battle with them. And they said at night their whole garden is lit up like some kind of discotheque, in their aim to be young and funky and hip and having all these parties all night. And so there's a whole battle going on. But this hedge is very high. Now that's them in the
Wow.
picture, and that's how high the hedge is. And they're saying it's blocking out all the chimneys, and all the light coming in. Now he's managed to win the 3-year battle against the neighbours. They're going to have to chop it down. They've got to lop 16 foot from this hedge, which actually surrounds, and it's not just a part of a hedge, it surrounds the entire property, which is on
Wow.
acres of land. So they've got to cut it to a height of 16 foot.
I mean, that is unreasonable, isn't it?
That is extremely unreasonable. I mean, that would block out anything. There's no natural light coming in whatsoever. Blocks everything out. I would, and it just feels like you're enclosed. It would be quite claustrophobic to have that
Yeah.
surrounding you
And on top of that,
entirely.
you've got the side, your side of it, that of the bush that you have to deal with. You know, their side of it that they have to deal with as well.
Yeah, because obviously it
That
has to
must be
be trimmed
horrible.
back.
Mm.
3 years that they were in courts for, um, and so yes, I'm glad when they win court cases like this. But you know, that's the lives of the rich, man.
Mm.
Some of us battle with noise, nasty neighbours. That's what we've got to contend with. Fights, people use it as a brothel, drugs, all kinds of unruly behaviour. Imagine if you lived next door to Christos. It'd be fun.
Christos,
It'd be fun.
that noise, he turning up his speaker right.
I was just talking about his unruliness.
Oh,
He's a
he means
fun
unruly.
unruly. He really is. He's too hot to handle. Like, that's how Christos. Anyway, that's the last of HPQ news. I was going to bring you something about tax evasion, but that's let's bring that next week.
Next
Let's
week.
end it on a nice high. Anyway, thank you so much, Sharky DJ. Thank you, everyone on Mixcloud. See you again, as usual, next week,
And
Monday. And for
thank
those
you.
that want to tune in, I'm bringing back my LWR morning show tomorrow morning, 7 till 9 a.m. It kind of cuts into Pablo's show a little bit. But, if you just want to hear some cool radio, I might run it on Mixcloud. Let's see. But
Make sure that you put the link in the chat, so if anyone wants to drop into that, they can listen to you tomorrow morning.
okay. All right.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. Have a great day.
And you have a wonderful day too. HPQ. Bye. Adios.